Welcome, maternity wellness expert, author, and mother. She is a queen with many crowns, Miss Latham Thomas. Welcome to DBL, Latham.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you. And honestly, we really need a word from you these days because these are very unprecedented times. And at DBL, we often find ourselves having really difficult conversations live on the air. And even as adults, it's hard to process, but you don't really hear much about having that same conversation with kids. So why is it important to be honest with children?
I think the challenge is that people are really hesitant because they don't have the tools, they haven't had these conversations in their own lives, and because they think it's too young to get started.
Now, I do understand that this has to do with how mature and what age the children are. So let's break this down into young children and teens, because there are different approaches depending on their age. And is there an age that is too young to talk to them about this? And what is the best way to have that conversation?
I think when we're talking about younger children, one of the first things you want to do is sort of observe where they are. What are they starting to talk about? What we'll find is when children are watching programs or when you're out and about, they might mention, oh, someone has a different skin color, or their eyes look like this, or their hair looks like this. I think these are really important entry points for these conversations about celebrating differences. As children grow and once they get through school, we start to see also these behaviors come out when they experience differences in how they're treated by school teachers, administrators, right? And there's a conversation that happens in the home. Again, that's a great opportunity to talk about how a lot of people have not been exposed to these conversations around anti-racism. So it depends, I think, number one, if you're a parent of Black or brown children, then this is something that you probably have a conversation about earlier just because of society.
A lot of our viewers have teenagers. What if they want to get involved in the movement? What if they come to you and say, I want to be a part of the revolution?
I think it's about really figuring out what works for your family and where your risk friendliness is, So for me, I want to make sure I know where my son is at all times. So I make sure that we have the Find Friends app so I can track him if I don't hear from him for a while. I think it's about really thinking clearly and discussing a plan of action as a family. And also coming up with, what your expectations are as a parent in terms of safety and boundaries for your children and how they will show up.
Right. And I mean, here's the thing. There's no real playbook to what we're experiencing right now. And I think that so many people, especially parents, are trying to figure out a way to navigate how to have the conversation with their kids. Latham, I thank you so much for sharing all of this helpful advice. And if viewers want to hear more from you, you have a new book called Own Your Glow, a soulful guide to luminous living and owning your glow. It's available June 16th. Again, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you.